Lola Bunny is an iconic character that has been on our screen for almost 30 years.
Hi, my name is Lola Bunny.
Lola?
The character has had many different versions and personalities over the years. Lola Bunny is now cemented as a key character in the Looney Tunes franchise, but it wasn't always that way. I'm going to go over key events that led to the creation of our beloved Lola, and how her character has changed and evolved over time. We are going to start 60 years earlier at the start of the franchise she would later star in. So here's a brief Looney Tunes history. The Looney Tunes started as a series of short films made by Warner Brothers.
Been so humiliated in all my life.
It aired alongside Warner Brothers' other show, The Merry Melodies. These series aired between 1931 and 1969. Merry Melodies had the colour shorts whilst Looney Tunes remained in black and white till the early 40s. In 1943, when they were both in colour, the two series basically merged, and in these two series is where the magic happened. Whilst Lola Bunny is the most well-known female counterpart to Bugs Bunny in the Looney Tunes, she is not the first. Daisy Lou is the first named female love interest for Bugs. There was also Miss Bugs Bunny in the short Hold the Line Please, who briefly appeared before Daisy Lou. Daisy first appeared in the short Hair Splitter, which came out in 1975. This short was about Bugs and his love rival, Caspar Rabbit, fighting over Daisy's affection, which Bugs ultimately wins.
Oh, my beautiful Daisy Lou, your eyes are like limpid pools. Your teeth are like coils. Real ones, no dimes, no phonies.
There were a couple of other rabbits as love interest for Bugs, but they were only in there for a few seconds, whilst Daisy Lou got an entire short with her in. Bugs Bunny was the breakout character from Merry Melodies and the Looney Tunes. He is now considered the mascot for not only the Looney Tunes but Warner Brothers themselves. With all this popularity, it's no wonder Bugs eventually got his own show called The Bugs Bunny Show. And before that, in the 50s, he also got his own comic book series, which published over 245 issues from 1953 to 1983. And this is where we were introduced to the character of Honey Bunny. There was also Lulu Bell, but she doesn't even have her own Wikipedia page, so clearly she's not that important. Honey Bunny first appeared in the Bugs Bunny album comic in 1953 as a famous explorer. There are some key differences in her first appearance than when she would appear later on. Firstly, she is shown to be a small white rabbit. There's also a key difference in her relationship to Bugs. She was introduced as Bugs' cousin. They soon realised that they wanted the two rabbits to smooch, and they reintroduced her as Bugs' love interest instead in the issue 108. When they reintroduced her, she had yellow fur with her ears flopping down and a tuft of hair in between those ears. Then they downgraded her character design, in my opinion, and they just made her a female Bugs and put makeup on her, and I hate it. I hate it so much. The character of Honey Bunny was used up until the 1990s. She appeared in video games such as Bugs Bunny Castle video game in 1989 and in the Bugs Bunny Birthday Ball pinball game in 1990. Honey Bunny had never made an appearance on the screen and was initially planned to make her debut on the screen in the movie Space Jam, but Warner Bros. Decided against it since she looked too much like Bugs and they didn't want people to get confused. But since they still wanted a female counterpart for Bugs to sell merchandise to girls, thus Lola Bunny was born, clearly taking inspiration from the second version of Honey Bunny with the yellowish fur and how they used the ears as hair. In case you have never watched the 1996 movie Space Jam, here's a brief rundown. There's an alien theme park that is not doing very well. Owner sent the Nerdlucks to kidnap the Looney Tunes and turn them into a tourist attraction. Bugs, being the smart bunny that he is, tricks them into agreeing to play a game of basketball to determine their freedom.
Not very fast. Tiny little guys.
If you can't jump high, we challenge you to a basketball game.
The Nerdlucks end up stealing the skills of every leading basketball player so that they can win. The Looney Tunes see the Nerdlucks transform and realise they are going to need some help to win.
Hey, little pig. Boo.
Myself.
So they kidnap Michael Jordan, who in this universe has retired from basketball and is now a professional baseball player. They bring him to the Looney Tunes world and they convince him to coach their team, and his decision might have been affected by the fact that the aliens turned him into a basketball and used him to play. It turns out the Looney Tunes are awful at basketball, and just as Michael is losing all hope, he asks, does anyone know how to play basketball? That is when our main character, our personal main character of this video at least, shows up.
I have. I'd like to try out for the team.
Okay.
Miss Lola Bunny, voiced by Kath Suchi? We don't know where she came from, since none of the other characters seem to know who she is when she arrives, but she is the best player that they have. This is the first time I ever watched Space Jam in over a decade. I did not remember how suggestive this movie was. Whenever Lola is on screen, it is not only Bugs who is drooling over her, it is every male in the movie. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan is also on that list. They try and combat the over-sexualization by making her get mad when Bugs calls her doll.
Don't ever call me doll.
And making her great at sports, but that means very little when every time she's on screen, someone wolf whistles, sometimes by literal wolves.
Standing a scintillating 3'2", the heartthrob of
In my opinion, this is the worst version of Lola, meaning it only goes up from here. Over 20 years later, they made a second Space Jam movie in 2021. LeBron James' son gets kidnapped by a crazy AI, so he teams up with the Looney Tunes gang to get his kid back. Long story short, all the Looney Tunes gang have split up and have gone into different Warner Brothers properties, and LeBron and Bugs have to track them all down. The final character they have to track down is Lola, who, same as last movie, is really good at basketball, so they need to get her. Bugs and LeBron track her down, and she's in the Wonder Woman comics, and they find her just as she starts a trial to become an Amazonian warrior. Bugs tries to convince her by saying, "How often do you get to play with an NBA superstar?"
That's a good point.
And tries to ignore them, but when LeBron mentions his son is in danger, she has a change of heart and decides to go with them to help. This was the first time watching this movie, just for this video, and people said this movie was awful. A lot of people were just mad that the bunny was not as hot as the previous movie, because we all know the hotness of a bunny is very important to a kid's movie. This movie was fine, not my favourite movie ever, but people let nostalgia taint their opinion too often. I prefer Lola in the Space Jam New Legacy. She has seemingly grown as a character. She mentions training to be an Amazonian for years. She has a character outside of being hot and dating Bugs. She is shown to have a soft spot for kids. LeBron mentioning his son is the reason that she agreed to help in the first place. And as they are trailing, she is reassuring they will get his son. And Lola is also voiced by Zendaya. So many points for that. Jumping back in time from 2021 to 2002, when Baby Looney Tunes first aired. Baby Looney Tunes was the toddler version of all our favourite characters such as Bugs, Daffy, Sylvester, Tweety Bird, Taz, and Lola Bunny. All these young versions of the character were in some form of daycare, taken care of by Granny, who is a reoccurring character in the Looney Tunes verse. I know her best as Sylvester and Tweety's owner in the Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, and there's also this guy called Floyd. Very vivid memories of him taking all the little Looney Tunes to go get cinnamon rolls, and they might make cinnamon rolls after this video. This was Lola's second ever appearance in the Looney Tunes franchise, and much different from the first Space Jam. But a key difference in this iteration is, yes, she was the main girl, but she was not the only girl. In this, she is joined by Petunia Pig and Melissa Duck, who showed up every now and then in the second season. Baby Looney Tunes was my first introduction to the character of Lola Bunny. Lola Bunny is skilled and independent, like in the Space Jam, but this depiction is not as othering as in Space Jam movie. Lola was a mysterious bunny who came from who knows where and was there to save the day with her basketball skills that she got from who knows where. And they seemingly put her up on some sort of pedestal so that she's very different from all the other characters, and it just puts like a settling spotlight on her. Whereas in Baby Looney Tunes, she's a part of the group.
Whoa, take it easy, Lo. It's just fun being at the game, right? It would be fun if they were winning the game.
It's her, Bugs, Daffy, Tweety, Sylvester, and Taz working together to solve problems. She might come up with ideas, but the others are there to help her, and when she's struggling, they are there to back her up. The whole show is about teaching kids, watching life lessons, so the characters might fail, but we watch them grow and learn from the things all together, and it was nice seeing the companionship between all of them. Kind of off topic, it was very jarring viewing experience going from watching Baby Looney Tunes, where Sylvester and Tweety were best friends, to the show after being the Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, where Sylvester is trying to eat Tweety. I always wondered what happened in between the two shows to make them hate each other. What did Tweety Bird do? This is the most iconic version of Lola Bunny. Yeah, I said it. Both Space Jam movies pale in comparison to this show. The Looney Tunes started in 2011 and ended in 2015. The show is about Bugs Bunny, who now lives in suburbia, and Daffy Duck, who comes to live with him.
We met at the post office. Hey man, you got a stamp? And he just kind of never went away.
and the two end up in wacky situations. They change the personalities of some of the characters in the Looney Tunes show. Because Daffy and Bugs are both very similar characters, being that they are both instigators, Bugs being the smart troublemaker, whilst Daffy is portrayed as more goofy. The Looney Tunes decided to make Bugs the straight man of the duo, meaning he is more of the helpless bystander to all of Daffy's shenanigans.
Except on New Year's Eve, when you go to bed at 8:30, because, and I quote, New Year's is a holiday invented by the media. It is!
This change to Bugs' personality also leads to a change in Lola. She goes from a no-nonsense, sensible person to missing several screws in her head. She first appears in the episode Members Only. Daffy sneaks into a country club and drags Bugs along with him. After Bugs get repeatedly hit with tennis balls, he goes to find out the source of the tennis balls. This is where he meets Lola. They flirt a bit and Bugs asks her out. If only Bugs knew what he just signed himself up for. They go on the date and Bugs soon realizes the lovely bunny he asked out to dinner is a bit odd.
I'm allergic to butter. Oh, no wait, it's gluten, not butter. I'm allergic to gluten. No wait, not gluten, pollen. Oh no wait, I love pollen.
Then he takes her to a movie and she talks a lot about how much she loves the film. Then we discover they were actually watching the trailer. The two of them had differing opinions on how their first date went.
That was the worst date of my life.
That was the best date of my life.
The next day, Lola calls Bugs several times and is ignored. Bugs here is regretting all his life decisions that led up to this moment. She then emails him several dozen times. Bugs is tired from the constant calling and emailing, so he leaves the house to escape and decides to go pick up his dry cleaning, but he runs into Lola. Then he runs into her at the grocery store and the gym. Bugs tries to end things with her and that does not go well and they end up officially dating.
Could you drop that thing on me again?
He meets her parents and next thing you know they're having a wedding. When the officiant asks if anyone opposes, Lola says she does.
Because I'm in love with someone else. I'm in love with him!
You know what they say, the eighth time's a charm.
I guess he gave up on the cat that he's normally chasing. Then Pepe and Lola run away together and as you can tell, Bugs is distraught about this.
So lucky. So lucky.
And that is the end of Bugs and Lola in this episode. And as you can probably tell, she is insane. I'm not being hyperbolic here. She does some concerning stuff in this show. And the episode I just mentioned is pretty sane for her. It only gets weirder from here.
Did you get my phone lines?
Lola shows back up 8 episodes later trying to date Bugs again, so I guess she and Pepe did not work out. Lola is forgetful, reckless, and mostly delusional. And I say mostly because Bugs is seen to somewhat return her feelings in several episodes, such as the episode Double Date, where he says that he is her boyfriend when Lola stops going after him. And instead, she tries to date Daffy, and then Bugs gets jealous and then makes this statement.
Daffy's not your boyfriend. I'm your boyfriend.
Say that again? That's okay. I have it right here.
I'm your boyfriend.
A lot of Lola's life seemingly is centered around Bugs, but Lola is shown to have just as wacky of a life when Bugs is not there. She is a reckless driver. She has an entire episode with Speedy the mouse where they go apartment hunting in the episode The Shelf. She and Daffy are looking for her pet gopher in Itsy Bitsy Gopher. As the show goes on, they tone down her clingy, crazy girlfriend personality a bit. I mean, she's still slightly odd, but they tone it down and they up the crazy in the rest of her life. She is shown to have a growing relationship with Daffy's girlfriend Tina, and her life seems pretty well-rounded. This is hands down my favourite version of her ever. Nothing will ever top this. I love her insanity. After they cruelly cancelled the Looney Tunes show, they made a new show aimed at a different demographic. I would say the Looney Tunes show was more teen, whilst Bugs Bunny's builder is very much aimed at toddlers, but Baby Looney Tunes was superior. Lola appears to be one of the most responsible ones in the series, organising things, getting done. It is just them building things, not much else to say about this show.
Sometimes take the lead and always try to get you whatever you need.
There's also Tiny Toons University. Tiny Toons University is actually a reboot of Tiny Toons Adventures, which aired from 1990 to 1992. Tiny Toon Adventures is where a bunch of Looney Tunes characters attend a university. This show stars Bugs, Daffy, Porky, Sylvester, and many more classic characters as members of staff, teaching the next generation of cartoon characters how to be funny. But since it was before 1996, it did not include our beloved Lola. So when they rebooted the series in 2023 with Tiny Toons LOONIVVERSITY, they added our girl to the staff. Here you can see her teaching Buster and Babs how to cook. And now we are up to date as of the beginning of 2024 with Lola Bunny, Lore, and Evolution. Here are just some notable mentions that I skipped over because they were so minor. We have Tweety, High Flying Adventures. She features as a news presenter. New Looney Tunes, I skipped over because she was barely in it. She was in like 3 episodes, but she was there. They introduced her character by making her Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. There's Daffy Duck's Dance Off, a show at amusement park. The evolution of Lola Bunny is something to be admired. From the beginning, she was strong-willed and sure of herself, and they kept adding onto her character. And even when the character had a dramatic change, she was still fun to watch. And I am excited to see where the character goes from here. That will be all. Good. Bye!